To be feared in the sense of reverence is to be respected. Your child should be wary of going against your rules. It also teaches them to submit to authority regardless of whether or not they agree.
When people physically discipline your child, they undermine the relationship between the parent and the child. Also, the children will be afraid of the parents sometimes.
Children have the option to obey or face the consequences. They need to know that consequences hurt.
When parents spank or beat, children miss out on instances of conflict being resolved nonviolently, and therefore they have lower problem-solving skills.
If the child knows what the consequences are before breaking the rules and disobeying, then the child will learn to practice self-control, so they do not receive the punishment.
But studies show that 73% of mothers reported that their child repeated the same bad behavior even after being spanked.
That's why you need to set the rules and tell the child the consequences beforehand. If the child will be fair warned if they were to break the rules again.
I get it that you guys want to set rules, but still hitting does not improve on the child's bad behavior. It just promotes anger issues for both parent and child.
Parents seem to assume fragility rather than the strengths. Spanking your child properly is not going to damage their self-esteem. Accepting curiosity and dismissing poor behavior teaches them to indulge in being weak.
It's going to undermine the relationship between you and the child, and they might also be afraid of you.
Some kids need it, period. When time out, talking, and taking away a toy doesn't work, you have to resort to more forceful measures.
Still, children can be sometimes afraid of their parents.
But if a child breaks the rules and gets a punishment, they will remember the punishment that they received for breaking that rule. It will make them more conscious about the decisions they have to make.
Now they'll be more conscious and they'll be aware of it, but do you want your child to be afraid of you?
Let's put it this way, if the child has to think about doing something twice, then they probably shouldn't do it.
I agree, they shouldn't be doing something that they don't want to get punished, but still, there's likely a chance that it might affect the child's IQ and they could do poorly in school, thinking the whole time that once they go home, they will get beat.
You're not beating the child, you're just enforcing rules and consequences you lay down.
But spanking doesn't eliminate bad behavior any more than other forms of discipline, such as explaining what the child is doing wrong or removing the child from the situation.
Controlled, purposeful spanking is not abuse. Impulsive spanking out of anger and frustration is abuse.
Studies have shown that the more kids get spanked or beat, the higher the child's score on the post-traumatic stress test.
Yet children that don't get disciplined have a higher chance of doing something wrong, not knowing it, and then having to go to jail.